Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about different methods for cuticle polishing. The first and most popular method is using a large ball bit with a red stripe, meaning it has a fine abrasive. This method carries the risk of over-exfoliating the client's skin due to the fine grit. It might seem that a finer abrasive would be gentler, but in reality, the large number of fine particles combined with the rotation of the bit results in more intensive processing of the skin in one area, which can lead to over-polishing. That's why I recommend using this tool at a low speed, without applying pressure and maintaining good control over your movements. The next bit is a rounded cylinder. Unlike the ball bit, it has a larger working surface. In the ball bit, the highest point does all the work. In the cylinder bit, if you look from the side, the top also has a rounded shape, resembling a ball, which becomes the highest point. The rest of the cylinder is flat and allows you to cover a larger surface area. You don't have to be afraid to apply a bit of pressure since it's completely flat and has no protrusions. Therefore, if used correctly, it doesn't cause injury. This particular cylinder bit has a medium grit with a blue stripe. Now, let's move on to less conventional methods, using an abrasive cap. I have two types of caps, 180 and 320 grit. Let me explain why I prefer using these caps. They offer more versatility and can handle a wider range of tasks compared to diamond tools. First, I use the 320 grit cap. It works in the same way as the rounded diamond cylinder. There is a highest point like in the ball bit, which allows for precise work in small areas. And there's a large flat surface for evenly treating areas with consistent pressure and no injury. I specifically tested it on 2 fingers where I have the most noticeable skin allergies. The skin there is thin, flaky, and uneven. On my index finger, I accidentally made an uncareful move and cut the cuticle. Nevertheless, I decided to show you how this tool works because it looks quite aggressive at first and might raise concerns. Despite the heavy flaking on my fingers, the cap handled it really well. After working on the cuticle and lower sidewalls, I also polished the nail plate in preparation for applying artificial material. I also used it to refine the nail shape. You can see how delicately it works around the cuticle and even near the small cut, without worsening the condition. I also processed the lower sidewalls and even extended onto the phalanx area because I had flaking even under the nail. Then I refined the lower side parallel. In short, I use this cap exactly like a nail file. That way I don't have to switch tools and the workflow is much faster. Here I decided to polish all nails with this cap and even remove a slight lifting. Now I'm using the 180 grit cap with a plastic base. It didn't perform as pleasantly. Even though it's coarser, it didn't handle the flaking as well as the 320 grit cap. It can still polish the nail plate and shape the nail, though. Now I wipe off the dust and check the results. This is a dehydrator, so the nails and cuticles turn white immediately. I noticed that some flaking remained on the thumb, so I went back with the 320 grit cap to finish the job. Even though it was already a bit clogged, it still performed well. In practice, using this tool on both hands during a client session works just fine. Now I'm showing how I use it directly on a client's hands. I take one tool and immediately polish the cuticle after removing it with a tapered cylinder bit. I'm sure you're all familiar with my method of cutting the cuticle using a bit. I then polish the nail plate, sidewalls, and lower sidewalls. If necessary, I also shape the nail, but in this case, I already did that with a ceramic bit, so there's no point in wasting time reshaping with the cap. This level of preparation is enough to apply a builder layer. After that, I can perfect the shape in just 5 minutes using any file I have on hand. All the links to the tools I used will be in the video description. I wish you all faster workflow and better quality through hardware technology and improvements in your process. Subscribe and like for more.